has never looked better. I feel happier than I've ever been. And I think that is because I grab your goal blankets and let's get into it. I wanted to talk really quickly about how I'm feeling for the half marathon coming up here. I just signed up for the Kansas City half marathon. Super excited, could not be more pumped for it. My sister and I are running it together. Or we both signed up. We'll see if we run it together. But anyway, it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be super fun. And I think it's been a weird pivot back to how I used to fuel before. In the last couple of years, I definitely jumped on the protein train and I try to eat all my fruits and vegetables and all the things. It's been very important for me to readjust again my thoughts and my feelings towards certain types of food groups, for example, carbs. In the last couple of years, I've been strength training a lot, and I've also jumped completely all in on the protein bandwagon. I've been eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. I've really dove into everything trending. Now I'm like, Erin, you need carbs. You need things to fuel your long runs. So I want to quickly break down what my goals are for this fall and how I'm going to accomplish that when it comes to food and eating and cooking. First being the reintroduction of carbs back into my diet. And if there's any message I want you to get from this, it's your diet and your nutrition and fuel can change completely based on the time in your life that you are at in your training. I recognize this and know that everyone watching might not be this exact way, but I want to break it down. I wanted to share what I'm doing because I love to cook, I love to eat, and also I like to feel good when I'm working out. First things first, reintroduction of carbs. I've reintroduced carbs as like a main component of my diet, which I know is important. I know it's good for brain health. I know it's good for energy, all of the things, glycogen, all things. I understand the importance of carbs and I always did. However, I also saw the benefits of eating a very high protein diet that was mostly keto. It was mostly protein and vegetables with some fruits mixed in. Have I always been keto and high protein? No. Will I probably go back to that eventually? Maybe. What I do know is that I don't feel good running on a salad, and I think it's very important to support my body and recovery and sleep with carbs, which all of that does. Another interesting thing is that this is the heaviest I've ever trained while running because I came off of 2 years of primarily strength training and also eating a very high protein, and I would also say a high fat diet. My high protein diet, and the reason it kind of stopped working very well for me, is I turned to grab and go options that are like theoretically high protein foods, such as string cheese, certain meats, peanut butter, like all of which I know peanut butter is not super high protein, it's high fat. But I was just looking at the protein on the label. I wasn't looking at the fats. I'm not scared of fats, but if you're doing a high protein diet and you're not tracking all your macros, you're just tracking protein, which I would say is probably a lot of people who are just getting into high protein diet and trying to get a certain number of grams every single meal, make sure you actually start paying attention to the fats and like how much you're eating, because there were days when like a grab and go string cheese was what I was primarily eating, and that's a lot of grams of fat. I have since cut out a lot of those foods out of my diet, and I've never felt stronger. I've never felt better. I feel perfectly fast. I feel like everything is falling into place. If anything, I feel like my muscles are more developed because I had 2 years of strength training prior to this half marathon. So I'm just embracing it. I'm accepting it. I do not have any issues with like fluctuating in weight mentally. I think I'm always able to see the silver lining of like why I like my body at that time. Like why I like my body when I'm a little bit heavier than I've been in the past, And then also why I like leaning out a little bit. Like I'm able to see the good in both, which I think is like a really good thing, especially for women, because our bodies do go through so many changes, and especially through our lifetime. Like I would love to have kids, and honestly, that's gonna just be a part of it, is like navigating that. So the more flexible we can be in our brain about how we look and how we feel is super, super important as women. So carbs, I'm bringing those back in. Now let's talk about calories, because I'm not counting those. No way. I am not paying attention to that. I am eating the right amount at the right time. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's also what I learned in high school and college, when I was doing like trying to peak for certain races and all of that. It's all really about eating what and when. So, for example, it's important to have something before a run to give your body a little something. And that could even be 2 bites of a granola bar, which I've been doing on my Saturday runs with the Saturday group I run in Kansas City. I've literally just been rushing out the door at 7 a.m. with my coffee and having 2 bites of a granola bar, and I feel perfectly fine. I come home or pack something and I make sure to eat within 30 minutes always, something very high protein and very nutritiously dense. Is that the word? But anyway, yeah, nutritiously dense. I do not yo-yo diet. I do not change up my schedule and my routine all the time. I try to eat at the same times every single day. And I also try to eat a little bit earlier in the evening, which I need to get back into. This has made me wake up feeling refreshed, like I got a lot of sleep. There are studies out there showing that if you eat right before bed, you might have a little more brain activity and it might be harder to sleep. So we're avoiding that. We're getting all the sleep that we can possibly get, which also helps with our metabolism, it helps with cortisol levels, it helps with all of the things. I've actually been really bad about this summer because I moved, I've been in a new schedule, I've been traveling a lot, and I've been kind of eating at all different times, and I can tell that it is affecting me. So I'm getting back into the regular routine of eating healthy foods at good times, doing all of that. There are some foods that I eat every single day, and that is eggs, some produce. Right now I'm still avoiding some produce just because of all the things in the news, which is unfortunate because salads are like my favorite thing. Ground turkey or ground chicken, a granola bar of some sort. I have a whole drawer where I just mix it up so I don't have to have the same thing all the time. A whole snack drawer, which is like my favorite thing ever. Yogurt or cottage cheese. I'll mix it up depending on whether I am feeling savory or feeling more sweet. But in general, I try to eat one of those things. And then honey, peanut butter, really good, solid snacks that like make me feel good before my late afternoon run or my late afternoon walk. I really find that honey is like a super ingredient, and I put it in almost every meal somehow. And then right before bed, I have my sleepy time tea and my honey. So that's been really great. Foods I'm staying away from, a lot of cheese. I was relying on dairy as a protein source constantly, and then I realized, okay, this is like not gonna work. Like I can't just live off of string cheese. And then I also realized like the grams of fat in this is insane. So one every now and then is fine, but I definitely don't make it a daily habit to have string cheese or anything like that. It's not gonna do it. Popcorn. This sounds so weird because it's my favorite food, but keep track of the foods that make you feel terrible. And popcorn for me, it was one of those. Popcorn was like a snack that I was grabbing like handfuls of all the time. And I just felt like the salt or like even my teeth, like it just was like, okay, this isn't making me feel good. So I'm going to cut it out for the most part. Some weeks I definitely treat myself, but we're just gonna not eat popcorn all of the time. Candies, sugars, junk foods, chips. My dream and my goal for this fall is to find a butcher, go to the farmer's market more regularly. It's been tough because I have been traveling so much, so Saturdays and Sundays I've been gone. But it's really to capture some of that, like more of those locally produced grocery items and eat that. Like that would be my dream. And then I probably wouldn't cut much out at all because I would be like, oh, I'm just having things closer to the source. So that's my goal for this fall. It's been interesting navigating food and nutrition as a runner from high school until now in my early 30s. At some points in my life, I've struggled with things, never to the point of self-harm, because I believe that's what it is at the end of the day. If you're not fueling your body right on purpose, and if you are talking bad about yourself, saying bad things about yourself, that is never a good place to be. And fortunately, I have not been in that place. However, that doesn't mean that sometimes I've struggled or I've had to combat those thoughts with a lot of positive thoughts. Like for every negative thought, you need 10 positive thoughts, I swear, especially when it comes to performance or how your body looks and feels and how you show up. Like definitely give yourself the grace that you need and the support that you need, because that's also the biggest sign of like self-love. So I see food as fuel. I see my body as powerful. I see every training block as an opportunity to learn more about myself and learn more about what makes me feel good and learn more about what makes me happy. Kourtney Kardashian said it best. She was like, if I'm ever super skinny, you know I'm not happy. And that has been a big lesson in the last 10 years, where I went from, super petite, like super, super, super tiny, to strong and like able to lift more, wear more clothes, had just the energy to support my day, like not getting tired at 7 p.m. My skin has never looked better. I feel happier than I've ever been. And I think that is because I love myself, love my body, love cooking, love nutrition, and I urge you to do the same. It sounds vain. Parts of that may sound vain, and I don't mean it to. I just mean that like that security and that relationship with yourself will help you see things clearly as you navigate nutrition and as you navigate that in tandem with a fitness or wellness journey. Suddenly it doesn't become personal. Suddenly it becomes a tool. It becomes a resource, and it also becomes a sense of power for you, because you have power over your reality because you understand yourself. You do not have a relationship with a certain food or food group. There's just nothing there. There's no connection. There's no tie. I just eat to support myself. I have the relationship with myself. I don't have the relationship with food. Does that make sense? Please comment below if you have any questions or thoughts or opinions. I would love to hear it all. I think this is such a complex thing, and I know what I said might be a little abstract, but I hope it resonated with some of you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.